Hey guys, welcome to week 4 of class. This is, of course, your fourth week. You're in a month now into this course, and by this point, I hope you're enjoying the content on the early colonial period. I'd like to spend a bit more time on the colonial era because I think it lays some cornerstones, some groundwork for what we're going to be talking about in the future. It helps us to understand that social, economic, and political development that preceded the American Revolution. Now, of course, this week that's what we're going to be diving into, the American Revolution, and we're going to be looking at some of America's earliest founding documents. And this week we're going to be taking a look at 4 of them. We're going to be looking at Thomas Paine's Common Sense, in my opinion, one of the forgotten founding fathers. His pamphlet, Common Sense, was rather important in bringing many people who straddled the fence about revolution over to the loyal side of the American Revolution. Okay? We're going to be talking about the Articles of Confederation, America's first constitution. A constitution, if you will, that was weak, decentralized, and it was something that really represented the fact that the early Americans wanted the states to have control over the governance of the country. Of course, those Articles of Confederation were a weak and disorganized form of government, and of course, following that, you'll have the Constitution, which we will also study. And then, of course, the main event, I guess, for some people, the Declaration of Independence. We will look at that as well. And while we dive into all this, I want you to not only understand what each document has to say, but I want you to begin thinking about those Lockean and Enlightenment ideologies and where you can find them embedded in these documents, right? It's not enough to simply know what these documents have to say, right? That's important, but we have to understand where those ideas came from and how we can use those today. I mean, that's the whole point of studying history, is to not just regurgitate facts, right? It is to use the content that we are looking at to better understand who we are as a people and how we can effect changes in today's society. And one of the things I definitely want you to think about as you're going through these various documents this week is, are these still applicable today? Would people still assess these documents and view them as valid and important for those philosophical ideologies that the early founding fathers thought were so vital? Okay? And so we're going to be looking at all that this week. In fact, I'm going to be asking you to read just a very short portion of Thomas Paine's Common Sense. I've also linked for you the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and then you can look up on your own if you're so inclined, or perhaps in your book, I believe it's there, look up the Articles of Confederation. But in addition to reading these documents, and again, you don't have to read them in their entirety, but I do want you to read them to a degree. I'm also asking that you go into Chapter 7 of your textbook. There's obviously a lecture that you need to listen to, and there's 2 films that I want you to watch, very, very short, on the Articles of Confederation. Okay? And then you will use all of this to answer this week's discussion board question. This week, the discussion board question is due by Thursday, not Wednesday. I know we've had some issues in the past where students were not quite sure about when the due dates are. I always have them listed when you link to the actual discussion board question. I've listed out the exact dates that they're due on. And the reason why the date changes is because I change it depending upon how much content you have to digest for that week. So for this week, I feel like you have more material to digest because I'm asking you to read through these various documents, and so I'm giving you some extra time. So make sure that every Monday you're looking at when the due dates are, or watch these films, because generally I will give you an idea about when that is, okay? But make sure that you respond to this week's discussion board questions by Thursday at 11:59, and then, of course, your subsequent one to another student by Sunday at 11:59. And as always, if you have not yet done so, please contact me about your final project topic. I think I've got most people at this point, but if you haven't, please contact me. And, of course, be thinking about, and in fact, if you have time, working on those. I know that seems so far away from now. But this is sort of a bedrock portion of your grade, so make sure that you spend some significant time working on that. All right? Okay, I think that covers pretty much everything I have for you for this week. So with that, if you have questions, contact me and I will get back to you. Otherwise, as always, go in peace, be warm and filled, and may the force be with you. Be blessed, guys.